Moving on, we've got some voice messages, and this voice sounds so familiar. I can't put my finger on it, so to speak.
Hey guys, it's
Here we go.
DC here, BC's evil twin brother. Last week, the Dutch Air Force scrambled 2 Vipers, Falcons, in a quick reaction alert because a Russian Tu-95 strategic bomber was flying over or near Denmark at NATO territory. Later that day, a similar incident happened near the Shetland Islands and 2 British Tornadoes were scrambled. I have 2 questions. First is, why do the Russians do this? Is it just a show of force and woohoo, look at how long my bomber is? Or is there something more strategic to it, like let's see what their QRA response times are? And the second question is, will you ever stand by for a QRA response? And what actually happens during such an intercept? Is it just radio contact, or do you fly real close, or do you actually get a missile lock on the plane? And thanks for taking the time to answer the question. I'm asking for a friend not called BC.
That's a whole episode right there. The guy,
I love this guy.
As well, you got the. I know it's great to have people that watch all the time. I mean, it really is. It makes you feel warm and
fuzzy. It's a good question. Good questions, man.
So what? I've already forgotten the questions. Why do they do that? A mix of things. I mean, geopolitical reasoning isn't always direct, right? You do want to test awareness, test responses, but you also just want to show that you can.
Yeah, I mean, why do we steam aircraft carriers all over the world?
Why do we?
Projection.
Right. So, yeah, and his second question was, right.
What do you do when you get there?
Have you ever done it? Have you ever done it? And what happens when you get there? Gonky, that's your. I mean, I've done alert. I haven't done scramble to intercept the Russians. So
yeah. So I was like, I was manning Ready 15 or whatever. I was the guy on alert, basically on deployment. And I've mentioned it before. The Indians launched a bear at us, and me and my flight lead. I was just a wingman at the time. The flight lead was a Marine, and they scrambled us to go intercept. And it's a completely separate / funny, typical Gonky story. But I had they changed the cards like every day. I had the old card, so I talked to nobody for about the first half of the intercept. I was completely calm out. I watched my lead blast off the end of the ship, and he squatted the jet like 90 degrees right off the cat shot and went. And I was like, that's rad. So I did the same thing. I picked him up on radar, and I knew what we were, because, when I left the ready room, they told me what it was. And I followed him, and then I picked the bear up on my own radar, and we got within about 20 miles of that Indian bear, and he did a 180. And by then I had figured out my error, and I had joined on my lead, and through the Helen Keller signals, I was able to get on the right freak. Correct. Yes. So that's no idea what happens comm-wise, but as far as what actually happens, you launch, you intercept, and depending on the weapons posture, which us was just to escort. The whole idea, so they had a rule: no foreign vessel, ship, airplane, helicopter could fly past the carrier unless it was escorted by a U.S. asset. Could be an E2, could be an S3, could be a Hornet.
Wombat.
It could, yeah. So, I mean, they've had, we've been intercepting bear bombers for like decades, and it's really nothing new. And like Wombat said, they're just, they want to test your response. They want to. It's
Mover said that. I just said that. You call me Wombat.
Did I call you Wombat? Gosh, dude. Sure no, Mover said that, but yeah.
Nobody ever says I agree with Mover. It's always I agree with Casmo and I agree with Gonky, but never Mover. I'm the third wheel here.
I was doing a flight down to Malaysia, and they were like, "Hey, we need you back for operational stuff." And I flew back, and what it was, the Singaporeans had launched, and they were flying right along what they recognize as the border. The Malaysians were like flying along what they recognize as border. So it's, just countries just playing the game. That's all. Nothing to see here.
Unless you're the wing girls, in which case a 2-ship of flankers will just fly right by your carrier. Sorry. Did I bring up that movie again? Call to Duty.
Terrible.
Yeah. Sorry for making that guy mad.